and the Condor. It was a bright summer day, and the sun was shining. The birds were chirping, the breeze was gentle, and there was a gopher suntanning in the public park. But not just any old gopher, the famous old gopher, Abner. Abner lounged, peacefully taking in the rays, unbeknownst to the danger that soared overhead. Abner adjusted his glasses and took in a deep breath of fresh air. When, before the oxygen got a chance to ride the red blood cells to the arteries, the air was knocked out of Abner. Abner was hoisted up into the air, while in the deadly talons of a ravenous condor. The air rushed by Abner's face let him know that they were traveling at top speeds. He tried to wiggle free, but stopped once he realized that escaping the clutches would ultimately land him in a less than desirable fall to his doom. Abner decided to wait it out and see where he was headed. The captivating condor arrived at his nest, dropped off Abner, and flew back into the blue sky. Heart beating rapidly, Abner tried to map out a means of egress, but he was too high in the mountains to climb safely down. Abner saw remnants of eggshells in the nest and tried to determine how he was going to be devoured. He settled on being torn apart by an adult condor and fed piece by piece to young ones. Abner's heart began to slow to a normal pace for a rodent as he came to grips with the fact that seemed to be his final adventure. Abner lay back in the nest and reflected on his life, holding no regrets for his decisions. Abner stared at the sky, and there appeared the condor circling above. The condor closed in on the nest and perched on its edge. Abner closed his eyes in anticipation, but to his surprise, the next sense they reported was not one of pain, but rather auditory bliss. Bells, whistles, piano chimes filled the air with what Abner could make out to be a theme song. Abner opened his eyes, and staring at him was the condor, wearing a menacing look. The condor then revealed a microphone from behind his back, lightened his expression, and cleared his throat. "Hello, my fair-feathered friends, and all you gentle hens out there, and welcome to the game show that dares to ask the question." Abner stared at the condor dumbfounded, as the condor held the microphone out to an imaginary crowd. "That is right," the condor chuckled. "Why not play with your food? We have a great contestant today. Just flew in, if you know what I mean. Let's hear from him. Tell everybody what your name is." The condor held the microphone up to Abner, who reluctantly answered, "Abner? Well, Abner, you look just delicious." The condor chuckled again. "And, as usual, I am your host, Andy Avis. And I am sure most of you already know the game, but for those of you who just tuned in, here is how it goes down. Our friend here, Abner, will be given a choice of categories, to which have questions relating to that category. If he gets the question right, he'll be given the opportunity to choose from one of our fabulous prizes. But if he fails to answer correctly, he'll be eaten in front of a live studio audience. Are you ready?" Abner was overwhelmed with sensations of confusion and fear, but being at the altitude he was at, he had no choice. "I am as ready as I'll ever be." "All right, let's see your categories," Andy Avis said, paused for a moment, and then ran over to grab some poster board and place them in front of Abner. Talent, memory regurgitation, owl be damned, avian flu, down and out, and carry-on luggage. Abner, choose your category for your first question. Abner, not knowing what to expect, randomly picked a category. "How about memory regurgitation?" "A fine category," Andy Avis complimented. "Here we go. Wily Willy, an eager eagle, kick the kiwi willy-nilly until silly, flightless, flustered, faulted, the blustered bird vaulted vastly into a gaggle of goose. These geese said, 'Please,' and sneeze, but did not want to freeze, so headed south with the breeze." Abner, now for your question. Did the bird that was kicked go with the geese? Kicked bird, go with geese. "Didn't you say flightless?" Abner asked. "So I guess no, he did not go." "Well," Andy Avis paused for a moment, "it turns out that question, too, was a breeze, because that is correct. Abner, Seems like he has the potential to go all the way. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this short commercial break. Andy Avis stood, stretched, not saying a word, while Abner looked around the empty nest. With no audience or cameras in sight, Abner concluded that the bird-brained host was more than likely insane, which was not good, seeing how his life was in the wings of Andy Avis. "We are back!" Andy Avis shouted. "Weren't those some great products? I wish we could just buy them all. Now, back to Abner. What will your next category be?" Abner, concerned that he would be eaten at any moment, picked another category. Avian flu? "A great choice," the host acknowledged. "Of our few flightless bird species, which one shares the name with a delicious, juicy fruit?" "A kiwi," Abner stated. "That was in the last question." "That is also correct," Andy Avis said, while trying to maintain a smile. "We will be taking another short commercial break. We will be right back." Andy Avis waited for a moment, holding a smile, then went into a rant. "Seriously? The same freaking question? No one could proofread the questions beforehand? I am looking like an imbecile in front of the camera here. I am working with amateurs here. When I find whose folly that was, you will never work in the business again, you hear me?" Andy Avis took a deep breath, patted down his ruffled feathers, plastered a smile back on. "And we are back. How about that, Abner? Here are 2 questions further from a fabulous prize. Let's pick up where we left off. Abner, you know the drill. Pick yourself a category." "Down and out," Abner said, still not sure if there was a chance he could walk out uneaten. "What is the comfiest pillow you could sleep on?" Andy Avis read. Abner, knowing the obvious answer, blurted out, "Feathers." "Can you be more specific?" Andy Avis requested. "Down feathers?" Abner added. "Let's see if the judges give you that one," Andy Avis said, staring off at nothing. "Still up in the air. And congratulations, the answer is accepted. That was a close one. Abner, you're halfway there. Now comes the time in the show where I make you an offer. This is an important one, so think it over. You choose another category and keep playing, or you can choose to get devoured right here and now. What will it be?" "Well," Abner started, "I prefer not to be consumed by the game, so I will choose carry-on luggage." "I'm about to lose my lunch," Andy Avis chuckled. "Carry-on luggage it is. Vultures have a good eye for food, but it turns out they also have a good eye for fashion. What common scrumptious part of the vulture diet also makes a highly sought-after material for purses?" "Unfortunately, I know the answer is rabbit," Abner regretted. "I have lost many cousins to fashion." "That indeed is a shame," Andy Avis said insincerely. "But on the bright side, you are 2 questions away from fabulous prizes. What will it be? I'll be damned or talent? "Well, I'll be damned, I guess," Abner sighed. "Indeed you will," Andy Avis chuckled, although rarely partaking in witchcraft or dark arts, which owl may appear to be more demonic at a glance. "Who writes these?" Abner asked. "The horned owl. These are not exactly difficult." "Now you're just getting cocky," Andy Avis smiled. "Last category left. Talent. Which of these types of birds rely on talons to seize and carry off their prey? A. Raptors. B. Elephants. C. Ratites. Or D. Elephants." Abner thought. "For humor value, I am tempted to pick B or D, but I am afraid that joke will be the death of me. So I'm going to go with A. Raptors." "Ooh, so close," Andy Avis bowed his head. "So close. That is actually correct. Abner, you have successfully gone 6 for 6. And as a result, you get to choose from fabulous prizes." Andy Avis turned to the side of the nest, and there flew in 3 more condors, each eyeing down Abner for their next meal. Abner knew this was it and fell to his knees. Welcoming the onslaught with arms wide open, the Condor slowly stepped towards Abner, but stopped once Andy Avis started speaking. Abner, you have your choice, Andy Avis explained. Beyond one of these fine birds is a different fate for you. One will lead you to freedom, but two will lead you to being today's menu. It is up to you. Will you choose what is behind Condor number 1, Condor number 2, or Condor number 3? Abner cocked his head and realized he was granted a few more seconds to live and chose, I choose what is behind Condor number 3, because 3 is my favorite number, and it would never do me wrong. The Condor stepped aside and revealed a rope ladder leading down from the nest. Thank you, number 3. Abner, you have done it. You are going to live life to the fullest. First, you will be adventuring down the luxury rung ladder to the glorious world below, where you will be met by a helicopter to whisk you away to whatever paradise you choose. Any parting words, Abner? Yes, Abner obliged. This game is for the birds. On that note, Abner climbed down the ladder and boarded his helicopter. Abner flew off into the sunset, grateful to be as far away from the Condor as possible.